here we go. 7. Haec mecum ipsi disputans. So he was disputing these things with himself. Haec is these things. Acedo. I'm coming to, or he's put it in the past tense, I came to the fores Milonis. These are the doors of Milo's house. Quod aiunt, what they say, is, I guess, is like a quote. Pedibus in centeniam miem vado. I let my feet do the walking, or with my feet, my pedibusses. Vado usually means walking or advancing. I like to think of it as like wading. If you're wading, you're walking. It just happens to be underwater. And in centeniam. So it was in his thoughts, in his opinions, in his sententia. Nectamen. So nevertheless, neither domi at the house, mylonem velaxorem eos offendo. One of my favourite words, offendo, means I come across someone, or mean to hit or strike, or to offend, but it just means coming across someone. So I didn't come across Milo, the guy, or Eos, demonstrative genitive pronoun, or his wife. Said, but, tantum, merely or only, carem miem photidem, my dear Photis. Parabatting. So she was parabatting, she was preparing, suis, her own, ischium, this should be something else, I'll go into that later. Concisum means cut up, cisum means cut, concise means cut short. Fartium, something that's packed in. This is actually pork or sausage. Ischium is actually sausage, but there's alternate spellings. What is it? Where the hell is it? Viscous. Okay. And pulpam frustratum, this means in the pieces, that's the adverb, a tim adverb. Another consectam, so this is another way of cutting. Concising is cutting, and consecting. Pulpam, this is one hell of a word here. Amble kapap blah blah blah. No one knows what it really is because the text is irrecoverable, as the Lord puts it. If you know what jus is, it's a broth or a juice, and this is ulentus or ulenting. That's the adjective, means forbearing it. So there was a cut up, packed with sausage bits or mince, and cut up in the bits was this whatever you want to call it, this juice. We'll just say it's juice, and very sausage-like mince and stuff like that, and which quad usually is what a neuter would take. With his naribusses, these are his nostrils, and yam. When you know the tense, it means he is already in they then harriabalaring. That's an alternate spelling. You put an H in it if it makes more sense, because it's an English word. It means to prophesy or see into the future. So his nostrils saw into the future what she was cooking or what she was parabating. These sausages, which are packed up and they're very juicy. Tacitum, that's another word for sausage, which is perquam, which means very. I think it's an adverb. Sapidissimum. Sounds very delicious. A superlative. And so I'll have a bit more than a daily dictionary today. Here's the viscus viscum. You see, foetus is actually spelled with an F in this version. The phrase vicum fatum concisum, some sort of meat dish as a sausage or a haggis or force meat. Okay, so here's the English version of hariolate. To predict or to prophesy. Comes from the Latin hariolus, as we saw, it didn't have the H in it. And here's the tacitum, it's a sausage. And here's this word which was replaced with vicus. This version had mincemeat stuffing. Okay, so lots of words. Ipsa, herself. Linea tunica, that's like a cotton or linen tunic. Mundula, mundule, we'll take that as an adverb. Means very neatly done, so very tidily or beautiful. Amicta and praenitante is our present participle ablative. So this means like shining or glittering. And russia is red. Fasciola, some sort of thing that's tied up. Altius culae, another diminutive. up rather high, sub ipsus papillis, under her teats, papillas are breasts or teats, succinctula. If you know someone wears a belt or whatever, they usually have it succincta, and they wear swords and things. Just means that she's got this thing tied up just under her breasts, and it's red, as we can see, and the tunic was made out of that linen. Illud cibarium vasculum, so we've got a vasculum of food, so a pot of food or something. She was rotabating, she was rotating them in a circulum. Circle's the diminutive of that. So she was rotating in a circle some pot of food, a cooking pot, with her floridus palmutus. Palms are the things your fingers are joined onto, and floridus means flowery, so I guess it's poetic. She's got flowery hands, not the type of flower that used in cooking. Flowers like the bees like that sort of flower. And in orbis, so another circular orbit, flexibus crebra frequently, sacutians, looks like a present participle adjective type thing. And simul, her membra, that's her limbs. Sua shows that it's hers, it's possessive. She was lenata, slowly, in lubricants, like gliding or twisting about with inflections. So she's rotating the pot, and at the same time, in an orb, her own limbs are sort of circulating. You know where the lumbar region is? That's like your waist or your hips, your lumbus, sensum. Here's another adverb. Gradually, vibrantibus. So we've got flexibusing in vibrantibus. So she's shaking her hips with a mobilum spinam. So a flexible spine, quatiens. What's that? A present participle or an adjective? Shaking it. Placidae, looks like an adverb. Decenter, another adverb. Underbatting, so she's undulating with a flexible spine, shaking her hips and rotating a pot and shaking very gently, placidly, decently, decenter. So that's a lot of words. And after all that, here's the Daily Dictionary. Mundulus comes from cleanly, neatly. Mundul is the adverb. It's pretty rare, I'm guessing. Neatly, trimly, nicely. Post-classical. And it's got Apuleius quoted in the little short dictionary, Mundule amicta. Okay, so back to the plot. Isto aspectus in this sight or something defixus obstupuis. That's the perfect of I was obstupified. Is that a word in English? Obstupified. So there he was, transfixed or defixed, standing there in this, looking at this aspectum, as they means he's looking at it. So he's stupefied and steta. I was standing there, mirabundus, full of mirror. Abundus means, full of, abundant, etc. It's a, what do we call it in English? He was marveling, so he was stupefied and standing marveling. But his member, this is a neuter, so A is the UNT. So he's, maybe that should be singular because it looks like it's his penis, apparently. His member was standing, which before was yacabanting, which was lying flat. So he's got aroused. Okay, so that decenter actually is, it's an adverb that's comparatives and superlatives as well. We had two adverbs there. Anyway, and tandem at last, ad illim, to her, he is inquamming. I said, quam pulchra, how beautifully, and quam festive, and how festively, mea fotis, that's the vocative bit, he's calling a name. Olulam istam, that's your little pot. Was it called a pot? I think it's called a vasculum before. With natibus in talkers. You are twisting your little pot with your butt cheeks, your natibuses. Where were we? Quam mellitum. How honey-like. I think mellitum comes from honey, so sweet. Apparas, you are preparing a pulmentum. It's like that stew or the minced meat. What was it called up here? We had pulpa, pulmentum. They're probably related somewhere in language. Felix, so lucky, and certius, and rather certainly, beatus, blessed, we have a dative, cui, to him, permiseris, you permit to intingere, this is taking the infinitive, to touch a digitum as a finger. So lucky and certainly blessed is he permit to stick his finger in iluk in there. Okay, so tung, then illa lepida, then she, charming she, Alioquin, or who is otherwise lepida, she who is otherwise or in general is charming, and Apuella, so a girl, Diacula, likes to talk. She inquired back to him with an imperative. Discede, get away. Micelle, vocative, second declension, diminutive, you wretched diminutive, you small boy or something like that, you poor boy, wretched boy. Quem procol, as far away from me a focula, from my stove or my fireplace. And then she's repeated the imperative singular. Discede, get away. Nam si, for if, te, you, vel, might be the adverb since he likes to use it, even, and not the conjunction, modice, even a modice, a little bit of my ingulaculus, my little fire, should flavour it, if it should blow, te, you, so even if a modest bit of my little fire should blow on you, urius, you will burn. Looks like another adverb, intimately, in your interior bits maybe. And neck, ulus is one of those praenominal naughty nines. They usually comes with a negative. So neither will ulus, anyone, extinguish to amado, your ardor, your burning, isi, unless it is ego, me. Is that a male version of it or both like that? Anyway, which dolce condiens, this is making condiments sweetly or seasoning something sweetly. We've got correlatives et, so both the olla, the pot, and the lectulum, the bed. I know, novi, to shake, head verb taking infinitive. So I know how to shake both a pot and your bed. Suavum lectulum. Okay. Hake Dickens, in me respects it and riset. So she was speaking Dickens, hake these things. She respected it. She looked at me with accusative, and she riseted. She smiled. Nectarmen. So nevertheless, neither did ego I prius prior inde then discessi. So neither did I leave prior, discuss it. Then I diligently explorassumed omnius eus. I diligently explored all of her habitudinem. That's usually her clothing or her appearance. Vel, take it as the adverb again, even or for example, quid, what, what do I say, de ceteris, concerning the rest. Cum, when, semper, always, to me, my unique care, the unique cura, this one care, had been two things. Caput capillium qui. So his one care or anxieties are for the head and the hair, sedulously. And publicly to prior, he would intuere, which is to gaze on, and postere. So he's got prius and then postere. So first of all, he looks at things publicly, the head, and then postere afterwards, domai, at home. He perfruis, he thoroughly enjoys, which usually takes the dative ablative case, and sit judice, and this type of judgment or appraisal, apud me, by me, is a certain and stature ratio, certain and a very good reason, or his standing reason for it. Vel quod vel, don't know what that's about. Quod praequipia, but especially praequipia, the part, ista, this is, of the body, the corporus, in the aperto, in the open, and in a conspicuous, what do they call it, perspicuous, posita, and it's, so the head and the hair is in the open, and it can be seen, it's very conspicuous. And prima, this is the first thing which occurreth, which you meet, nostris luminibus, which is a poetic way of saying what your eyes meet. With your eyes, you will. This is the first thing you will see is the head and hair. Et quod in ceteris floridae. So, in what the again flourishing type of thing there is, the floweriness of the inceteris membris and the rest of the limbs, limbs, you can tell from the head and hair, from the hilaris colour vestis. So we can see the head and hair and the clothes. Hilaris just means, you might want to say it's happy. It's where we get jokes and hilarious from. From the colour, happy colours of her hair and the flourishing or flowery bits of the rest of her body. Hoc incipit nitor. So, looks like this is the end of this section. So, operator nitor nativus. The native nitor shining on the head. So, if you look at the hair, I guess you can see, if I'm reading that right, he's just examining her before he leaves. And how far are we going today? Down to there. Okay, so we'll finish this quickly. Deniqui, finally, pleriqui, most of, indolum gradium suum probatura, so that's the future. Looks picking up the plural from the mostly. It's female. So mostly they want to prove, looks like women want to prove their indolem, their innate qualities, and their gratia, their pleasantness, I suppose, suam. They exunt, take off, omnes licinius. Licinius are a type of clothing. They dimovent, another word for removing amicula, so it's another type of clothing. That takes some clothes off, takes some more clothes off. Nudem pulchritum suam probri. So here they want to offer or show their beauty of their nudity. Gestiunt, usually making gestures or movements. More de cutis roseo rubor. This is the redness of their skin. So rubor's a ruddy sort of red. Roseo, again, that's another red colour. Cutius is the skin. So magus means they want to show the beauty of their skin more with the redness of their skin or their rosy red youth, I suppose. Youth has sort of red things. Then to placaturate, to placate with the golden colour, with the ablative oreo colour of their vestus, of the clothes. So she's taken off two types of clothes. This is all going on in his head, remember. He's thinking about and explaining it to us. At vero, so we've got two buts here. So, but however, what is nefas to dicere? What is nefas to say? We get nefarious from it. It's bad in the sights of the gods. Nec quod sit ullum huis re tam dire. So dire an example, what he hopes will never of this type ray in these circumstances will never happen. Ulam. If cuus libet, whatever you like, whoever you like, an eximia pulchruma femina. So if you, here's a verb. So if you despoil an especially beautiful femina, a woman, her caput, her head from her hair, is that what's going on? Or remove the hair from the head, probably better English, and you make nude or you make it bare. The spec is the appearance of the native facium, the native face, or the what do you want to call that in English? Natural appearance of a face. You strip by making it nude. So I guess her hair has something to do with her face. Although, or I'd say we'll take it as although, as a conjunction. If Illa, she was dejected from Kalo, if she was cast down from heaven, or Edita, produced from the Marai, from the sea, Educata, reared in the fluctibus, reared in the waves, although, inquem I say, for it, she might be Venus ipsa herself, and listed also Stipata, she's got a crowd of all the coro gratis, this is the chorus of all the graces, I guess they're goddesses, and toto popula, all the population, commenta as companions of Cupid, and she was kinked with sua baltia, her belt or her girdle, Flagrans, is that a burning or breathing kinema? That is cinnamon. Yeah, I guess so. She smells of it. And Rorans, balsama. What do you call it in English? Balsam, some sort of thing. If she's sprinkling that, processorit calva, she would not be able to be pleasing to Vulcan. Sua means it's her, so Venus would not be able to herself be pleasing to Vulcan. I guess that's her husband. Is that it for the day? Yeah, that's it for the day.